Today, we become legends.
Alright boys, so I decided to do another one of these alignment chart videos. The other one went down fairly well, although that may have been because I was talking about other Smite YouTubers, which tends to go down quite well. I've had this idea for like, I'm going to do the different classes on like an early game and late game alignment, and then also a secondary alignment, which for Assassins I'm doing auto attack and ability based, but like for Guardians I might do aggressive versus defensive. So you could have like some aggressive late game Guardians, some defensive early game Guardians, that kind of stuff. So if that sounds up your alley, then be sure to drop a like on this video so I know to make more of them. But yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to be placing them on these various axes. You know, further towards this right hand side is more late game, further towards the left hand side is more early game. Further towards the top is more ability based, further towards the bottom is more auto attack based. So Arachne is an early game auto attack assassin. You don't get much more early game than Arachne really, and you also don't get much more auto attack than Arachne. She's pretty much fully auto attack based. We'll put her like there or something. Bastet is definitely ability based. Honestly, Bastet's kind of mid game. I feel like she's not late game, she's not super early game, she's kind of like mid game, so I'll put her like here. And she's very ability based. There's like no auto attacking with Bastet. She probably deserves to be like right up at the top there. Camazot's kind of similar, to be honest. Camazot's probably leans a little more early game than Bastet, but he's definitely still very ability based. We'll jam him like here or something. We have Daji. Daji's an interesting one. She's kind of strong at like all stages of the game, to be honest. And she also like kind of has a little bit of ability and auto attack hybrid. She's not like fully auto attack, but she can do stuff with autos and her one as well. So I'll probably put her ability based, but like more auto attack based than these two. And then honestly, she's probably like kind of mid game as well, based on the fact that like she has okay early game, she has okay late game. She's probably strongest in the mid game, I would say, Daji. Fenrir, more ability based and probably more early game than these. Fenrir's not all early game, he can do stuff late game with like the ult and stuff, but he's generally more early game focused. We'll put him like that. Hunbats is ability focused late game. He's not like hyper late game, so I'll leave him like here maybe. And he does auto attack in between abilities. His passive is technically like auto attack based, so we'll put him around the same level as Daji. Like a little bit of auto attack synergy, but mostly ability based. Kali, this is an easy one. Fully auto attack, fully late game, right in the bottom right corner. You don't get much more late game than Kali, you don't get much more auto attack than Kali. Her abilities are literally just to keep her alive so she can auto attack people more, other than Lash, I guess, but to be honest, late game you barely even use Lash for damage. Mercury is similar, not quite as late game as Kali. He comes online a bit earlier, and technically he does a little bit of damage with abilities, you know, his ult and stuff like that. So, and I guess his one's technically an ability, so we'll put him a little bit more ability based than Kali, and also a little bit less late game. Raven's somewhere in the middle in terms of ability and auto attack, and he's probably like a little more early game. Raven's kind of mid-game, actually. Let me move Daji a little bit, and then we'll put Raven, like, here. Actually, he probably leans more ability than auto. If we do something like this. I don't want to cover Daji up too much. Set is, like, kind of mid-game. Maybe leans a little bit more towards the late game, and he's generally pretty in the middle, to be honest. Because, like, obviously he does auto-attack a lot, you know, when he ults you and runs you down. He's got very strong auto-attacks, but also he's quite ability-based. You know, a lot of his damage comes from his one and things like that. We'll probably put him like basically in the middle, somewhere around here. Susano, probably like mid-game, ability based. Up with a lot of these kind of ones. He probably skews a little more late game than like Bastet and Camazots and stuff like that. Thanatos, easy one. Fully early game, fully ability based. Not much to say about Thana really. He's basically the polar opposite of Kali. Tsukuyomi, mostly ability based, but does have a little bit of auto attack and kind of mid-game as well, to be fair. A lot of assassins are like pretty mid-game focused, or like strong at all stages. Some of the ones I've put towards the middle are also just like not necessarily mid-game super strong, but like strong at all stages in general. You know, that's kind of like Raven. I feel like Raven's decent at pretty much every stage of the game. He doesn't really fall off. He has like a decent early game, decent mid-game, like pretty strong, but I'd say he's strongest at the mid-game. Tsukuyomi though, I feel like late game he kind of gets picked off a bit easily because he doesn't have like defensive mobility and he has to all in with the ult. So maybe we'll put him a little more early game actually, maybe somewhere like here. And obviously he does have a little bit of auto attack synergy in his kit with ranged basics and stuff like that. Awilix, mostly ability based, a little bit of auto attack in there as well, because she just have to like auto attack twice before feather step and stuff like that, and she has extra range on her basics. Honestly, with the changes they've made to Awilix, she does lean a little more late game, I would say. Probably somewhere like here. She used to be like a monster early game because Feather Step hits so hard, but they nerfed the base damage a lot on Feather Step, and she doesn't just like one-shot you with Feather Step early game anymore, so she kind of skews a little bit more late game, I would say, but generally more of like a mid-game god around where all these kind of gods are. Bakasura, auto attack late game. Fully auto attack, obviously. Bakasura does almost 0 ability damage to you. He's just going to jump on you. That's like all, unless you can't Butcher Blades. But to be honest, I can't Butcher Blades as like auto attack damage, really. And I'd say Baka comes online slightly before Mercury, but not much before. Baka and Mercury come online around the same time, I would say. Loki, mostly ability based with the rework. You know, before the rework, he was a little more auto attack, but Loki's mostly ability based now and just uses auto attacks for like air cancelling and supplemental damage. In terms of early late game, I don't see Loki anymore, dude. I literally don't see Loki. I don't really know where he's strong, to be honest. My guess would be he's kind of a mid game, because Loki's always struggled in like late game team fights to properly pick off kills. So maybe we put him like here or something. Nemesis, this is an interesting one. This is Nemesis was partially what I thought about when I decided that I was going to do a alignment chart in this kind of style with ability based auto attack, because Nemesis is very like bang in the middle. She's like completely a hybrid character. Like, she does use basic attacks for a lot of her damage. You can build her full ability base and she'll work. You can build her full auto attack base with like crit and stuff and she'll work. She's very much like the identifier of a hybrid assassin, to be completely honest with you. And I'd say she skews more late game. Is she more late game than Bats? She kind of is, to be honest. I'm going to move Bats over slightly and we'll put Nemesis like right here. And she's basically right in the middle. You know, she's very much a hybrid assassin in terms of ability or auto attack. Neja, mostly ability, a little bit of auto attack synergy with the 2 and stuff like that, being able to crit. And I'd say he skews a little more late game. I mean, the 1 hits pretty hard early, but other than the 1, he doesn't do a whole lot early. I'd say he comes online like mid game and then gets quite strong late when like his ult's one-shotting people and you can just take someone out of the fight with it. Pele, basically full ability based. I mean, her autos, I guess, on the ult are like good, but I would class that as the ult really and not as basic attacks. And yeah, I'd say Pele generally skews a little more early game, but she's more of a mid game god. Like, I could fit her in here maybe, but we're really kind of piling gods on top of each other at that point. We'll leave her here for now. Rat is like ability based early game. Is he more early game than Fenrir? Kind of is, actually. Like, the Acorn's just like so good getting him online early on. Saket, mostly ability. A little bit of auto attack, but kind of like late game as well. Probably less late game than them. Around where Bats is, I would say. So we'll put it like that. And finally we have Thor, who is very much an all-rounder, strong at all stages of the game, and basically fully ability based. I mean, yeah, he auto attack cancels, but that's about it. So I guess we'll use this little spot in the middle of all of these guys for Thor here. Make use of his passive. So yeah, that's the alignment chart for Assassins, early game to late game, auto attack to ability. As you can see, we have a lot clustered in the ability based kind of mid game, because generally that's what Assassins are good at. You know, they come online super strong in like the early to mid game, and generally Assassins are ability based. A few are auto attack based, as we can see. You know, we have 4 very strong auto attackers down here, and then some that are kind of like a little bit hybrid with Nemesis and Set and stuff like that. But yeah, in general, the Assassin class skews more towards the mid-game and skews more towards ability base, which is why you have an absolute lump of characters just like kind of in this middle area here. And yeah, let me know if you found this interesting. I'm probably going to make these for like all the other classes, but you know, using different criteria and things like that. You know, like I said at the start of the video, like Guardians from early to late game and from defensive to offensive. So, you know, you'd have like Ares in like the early game offensive category and like Geb and Kebri in the late game defensive category, that kind of stuff. I just think it's interesting to kind of put them in this kind of a light, rather than just saying this god is auto attack based, or this god is ability based, or this god is late game, this god is early game. You can kind of put them on like a scale where you can see that, like, you know, Kali is definitely the most late game assassin. Mercury, Nemesis, Baka all come online at around the same time. To be honest, maybe I should move Nem over slightly and maybe do something like this, because I would say Nem comes online like a little bit before those 2 characters. So if we maybe do something like that, that's probably a little more accurate. But you can do stuff like that, you know, you can just rearrange them to your liking to really portray the point you're trying to put across. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.